Hey guys, I am Daisho, and I'm here doing another arena run for you. Hopefully it'll go better than my last few. They've all been like 5 or 6. Oh god. Looks like we're gonna go with Rogue. Hunter is just completely out of the question. And Jaina, I think I did one, it's like 2 or 3 ago, so I'm gonna have to go with some Rogue here. Got a pretty sweet one first, Perdition's Blade. It's one of my more favorite weapons. Like a 2/2 weapon is still pretty respectable, and it can definitely kill 2 creatures that you care about. And the fact that it deals 2 damage when it comes out means that you can also kill a 4 toughness thing, or I don't know. It's just a pretty sweet card. I'm not too big of a fan of Abomination, though. It is one of the only ways to get colorless mass removal, which is nice. But it does hurt your own guys, and sometimes it's just an unplayable card. So, like Perdition's Blade, right off the bat here. Commando and Darkscale Healer are both pretty reasonable 5-drops, but Swamp Ooze is just one of the best 2-drops, and yeah, nothing really else to say about that. Just that it's one of the best cards that you can play for 2 mana. So I'm going to go probably with an Eviscerate here. Gurbashi Berserker's not that good, and Youthful Brewmaster is a good 2-drop, but it's just hard to beat this kind of removal. Okay, well, these 2 cards are both god-awful. One of the reasons why I don't like Rogue a lot of the time is because some of their cards are just completely terrible. Like, giving your minions stealth. I guess that's not so bad. I mean, if you're behind for a while and you need to just take some damage in instead of having your creatures die, so that's not so bad. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Silverhand Knight. It's definitely the best one. Alright, so these cards are all terrible. It's hard for me to grade a card like Sap. Sometimes it could be reasonable if, like, the same kind of situation, if you're behind and you can play like a couple of creatures to get back on the board and then return their biggest thing to hand so they can't just completely destroy your creatures. Frostwolf Grunt and Windfury Harpy are just cards that I'm not really looking to play, but I think I might still take the Frostwolf Grunt just as another 2-drop. I mean, it's not a great 2-drop, but it can trade with 3/2s, so I'm going to go with it. Sen'jin Shieldmaster, way better than the 1/7 Taunt in this deck. The only deck that I think that Motion Warden might even compare to Shieldmaster is Priest, but even then, Shieldmaster, Young Dragonhawk's terrible. Right, so a couple of really terrible cards again. Another Rogue card that's just awful. I mean, it's like the complete opposite of Mage, where all of their cards, you get Fireball and Polymorph and Frostbolt, and even like Mana Worm, and like they do have their Arcane Missiles, which is pretty awful, but I don't know. Flesh-Eating Ghoul is a reasonable card, so I'm not too upset about that one. Betrayal, Jungle Panther, Ironbeak Owl. I'm leaning towards Jungle Panther. Betrayal is just not very good, and to take one in the first 8 picks over a pretty reasonable card doesn't make much sense to me, because you never really want more than one in your deck, because if you ever have 2 of them in hand and don't have any targets, then that just sucks for you. So I'm going to take the Jungle Panther, even though some people would probably say I should have taken the other thing. I'm starting to like Gnomish Inventor a little bit, but I think I'm still going to go with the Loot Hoarder. I really do like Loot Hoarder. It's one of my favorite common 2-drops in Constructed and in Limited, so I'm going to go with that. Acolyte of Pain's okay, but I don't usually end up taking them. Alarmobot and Secret Keeper are not anything that I want to deal with, so I'll take a Master Swordsmith, even though I'm not a huge fan of it. Going to take that Gnomish Inventor now over 2 3-drops that are just not as good as this 4-drop, and I also need 4-drops, so that's okay. Bloodsail Raider is alright in Rogue. I mean, you can still play it on 2 as a 2-mana 2/3, and then if you can get a Deadly Poison or an Assassin's Blade out, then it becomes really good. Abusive Sergeant is a pretty reasonable card, though, and I wouldn't be upset about playing at least one of those in my deck, but I'm going to take the Bloodsail Raider for now. Okay, well, this is a really tough pick between Assassinate and Deadly Poison. So these are 2 of the good Rogue commons, and yeah, Assassinate is just really strong, being able to take care of any creature, and Deadly Poison is also sometimes really good, being able to take care of like 2 medium-sized creatures. I'm going to go with the Assassinate, but I think it's actually a pretty close pick. Not a great pack. Triangling Mechanic's okay, especially if you're not playing against like Jaina or Valera or Malfurion, then she gets better because you can't really take care of that 2/1 as easily. But Nightblade and Delaran Mage are just not even considerations, so not a tough pick. Probably going to go with Stormwind here. I have a couple of non-creatures, but not enough to make it that Stormwind won't be really good for me. I did just pick up a Dragonlane mechanic, so maybe I'll be able to get some Razorfin Hunters or something. I'm not too big of a fan of Fen Creeper anyway, so take a Stormwind. Yeah, not really a huge fan of knives. See what I did there? Anyway, Direwolf Alpha is okay, and it's not particularly good in this deck, but it's not particularly bad either. So Ironbeak Owl, which I've been becoming less of a fan of, or Coldblood, not good, or Beauty Bay Bodyguard, which I'm also not a fan of. I think just because I don't have that much on the top end, I'm going to go with Beauty Bay Bodyguard, even though I kind of hate that card. Assassinate or Eviscerate. Eviscerate is often just as good as Assassinate, and I already have one. Still 13 picks left. I'd be happy to pick up a third Eviscerate, but not a third Assassinate, so I think I'm going to take the Eviscerate here. Bloodfin Raptor is probably a little better than than the Bluegill Warrior, and way better than Magma Rager, which I think is just awful. Mind Control Tech is the only one of these that's like even playable, unless you have a ton of Murlocs, I guess. I don't know. Hey, we got an Argent Commander. Very nice. I needed some top end, and he does provide some top end. So Direwolf Alpha is a pretty good card, but I already have a billion 2-drops and a Direwolf Alpha and not really much to take advantage of it. So I think I'm going to go with the Abysso Sergeant here. Help me to trade my creatures up, my small creatures up for medium to big creatures. And yeah, it's a pretty good card. Earthen Ring Farseer is a decent 3-drop, and I don't have that many. I only have like a couple that I actually want to play on 3. So I can either take a Sprint to try and get some late game or an Assassinate. I'm going to take an Assassinate here. Sprint is pretty good, and I'd like to have one, but not at the expense of giving up my second Assassinate. Demolisher here looks like the best one. I don't have anything to take advantage of the Questing Adventurer. Man, I didn't get any Defiance Ringleaders. This sucks. Sunfear Protector is okay, but I think I'd rather have Demolisher. Well, this is disappointing. I don't think I really have much with Battlecry. Yeah, just a couple of things that would benefit from Battlecry, from Shadow Step, so I'm just... I'm going to take the Conceal here, just to... No, that's really bad. I'm just going to take a Cobalt Geomancer as a 2-mana 2/2, because that's how bad this deck is. And now I get a pack with, like, all cards that I would play in my deck and be happy about. But I'm going to take the Cult Master. I think it's really hard to beat that. It was questionable. Some people would probably say Dark Iron Dwarf, but Cult Master for me... Spellbreaker is really, really powerful. And now, again, we just start seeing the good cards. So, Defiance Ringleader, Cult Master, Stormwind. Probably Cult Master number 2 over the first Defiance Ringleader, even though this card is awesome. It gets worse when you're playing against, like, Mage and stuff. And sometimes you just play this thing on turn 2 and you don't lose the game because of it. But, yeah, I'm going to take a Cult Master over it. And our final pick is really unimpressive. So I'm going to take a Master Swordsmith. So this deck is actually just one of the worst decks I've ever built. It has just like no powerful rares, I don't think. Like I have one Argent Commander, and then like everything else is just like mediocre. This is just an awful deck. I would be surprised if I won more than like 3 games with it. But yeah, let's just jump right in. God, I mean... for whatever reason, when I draft Valera, nothing good happens. I mean, I've heard people say that they love her, but like didn't get any backstabs. I mean, I could have gotten a Defiance Ringleader or maybe 2. I don't remember, but at the expense of like good cards. And then I was just taking mediocre cards throughout the entire draft. And then all of a sudden, draft is over and I have a shit deck because they gave me a bunch of like. They probably gave me a reasonable amount of cards that are good, but for the most part, like they just weren't in the right order. So like they were giving me the good cards when like 3 good cards in one pack, but I don't know. Whatever. I should totally. Okay, well I got a Swamp Ooze, but I don't really want to play that on turn 1. So I could coin into Dagger so that I could play Blood Cell Raider as a 3/3 on turn 2, which is kind of funny. And I think I'm actually going to do that. Because I definitely don't want to play Swamp Ooze. I mean, it only has one rare or one common weapon in Assassin's Blade, and the others are like. Then it only has a rare. I don't think it even has an epic, or definitely not legendary. I don't think there are any legendary weapons. But yeah, I'm just going to go with a Blood Cell Raider here. Finish using that weapon. And I mean, like, I have nothing to help me out with my combos. I only have like one drop too. So, God, this deck is so bad. You'd be surprised. I mean, like, the only way I'm going to win is if I, like, get control of the board early and just win a standard game where I'm playing, like, creatures. And my opponent doesn't play anything ridiculous, because there's nothing ridiculous in this deck. It's just, like, a completely average, bad deck. Alright, so he's going to get an Arcane Golem out here, and hopefully he just attacks my face. That is just insane for me, because now I can actually take another 4 damage and go with this. Or I could actually just play a Cult Master here and trade. That sounds good. Especially since I can protect it next turn with this Perdition's Blade. And I could combo into it now since I have the Bloodfin Raptor. I could also just play a Booty Bay Bodyguard for defense. So there's a number of things that I can do to make sure that my Cult Master doesn't die, which is nice. But he might have like a removal spell for it. Yeah, there you go. Deadly Poison is good enough here. But my Booty Bay Bodyguard should prevent that from being relevant, unless... No, that's not too big of a deal. Unless he's got an Assassinate. That's okay, though. Alternatively, I could have just... Well, that wouldn't have been that good getting the... I would have wasted a damage on the Perdition's Blade, and the Bloodfin Raptor would have died. But I would have been able to take care of his Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Not let him attack with it, which could be dangerous if he's got like a combo to Eviscerate or an Assassinate. Or, I don't know, attack into it, then play Perdition's Blade. That'd be pretty bad for me as well. But yeah, that Deadly Poison was great. I didn't even get any Deadly Poisons in this deck. I could have had one instead of an Assassinate. But yeah, again, like they just kept giving me all the good cards in the same pack. Alright, so he's got that as well as a Fan of Knives. Alright, I mean, that's not that bad. And I'll take 3 damage here, and then you're just gonna, what, make a dagger? And then I can Farseer to gain some life into Perdition's Blade, which it doesn't really matter if I combo it or not. Alternatively, I could just play Shieldmaster and Bloodfin Raptor. That seems pretty good. It's also nice to get a couple of creatures out there the turn before I can drop a Stormwind. And both of these creatures can trade for the Flesh-Eating Ghoul, so hopefully I can use a Perdition's Blade for something more efficiently than just killing, than just like overkilling it with a damage. I don't know. Maybe I can kill 2 things or 3 things with it instead of just this. And okay, so he's gonna go for a Deadly Poison. Gonna have to have something else here. Could have Swamp Oozed the other turn to get rid of the +2 attack, now that I think about it. Is that it? Or do you have an Eviscerate? Eviscerate doesn't really help that much, I guess. Still get to trade my my Bloodfin Raptor for your Flesh-Eating Ghoul. But Perdition's Blade is very good against Defiance Ringleader. Oh man, I hope he doesn't attack in with that too. That would be amazing for me. Okay, so he is gonna trade. That's fine. I still have a pretty good turn set up for me. Yeah, I'm gonna go for one of these, and then this into attack. I don't really have a good follow-up, which sucks. But I mean, look at my opponent's life total. She's down to 13 because she kept attacking my giant taunters. Doesn't have a weapon. I have a Perdition's Blade out, and I have 2 creatures which can attack next turn, both as 4/3s. Looks like they will. It's 8-10 damage. Oh my god. Young Dragonhawk? I guess she's trying to do Young Dragonhawk Cold Blood, but still. That is pretty ambitious. Alright, I'm actually going to attack one of my creatures into that. Maybe I should have killed it with my face. Yeah, that was a mistake. I just gave up 2 damage basically there. Because taking the 1 damage to my face is like exactly the same as taking the 1 damage to my creature for me. But I'm still in pretty good shape here. I mean, even if he's got something huge, then I can just assassinate it. And I've got a lot of power on board. He's going to need to draw something here to even stay alive, because he can only kill one of my creatures. Perdition's Blade. Oh, she's just conceding? That seems really bad. Oh, no, I guess he was dead anyway. Jeez, if you were just going to concede, attack into my Stormwind. So I guess, no, wait, he could have... Yeah, he totally could have survived another turn. Could have killed the Bloodfin Raptor and then attacked the Tiger into the 4/3 and then survived on 1. Oh, no, I have my dagger, so I could have just done that. Anyway, not too relevant. I won a game. That's impressive. It's more than I was expecting. But no, I mean, I expect to win a couple of games just because I'm playing a game where there is some variance, but my deck is not very powerful. I guess there definitely could be people who also got really, really bad decks, but mine is definitely in the lower 5% of decks that I've ever built in this game. I don't know. Playing against another rogue. That is strange. Usually you don't see very many rogues, and now my first 2 were both rogues. So I'm going to actually keep the Earthen Ring Farseer here, I think. Hope to draw 2-drop. I have a lot of them in the deck. Did not draw 2-drop. And Abusive Sergeant, even though you do have to... Okay, his looks can be deceiving. It looks like he is a 1-mana 2/1, but he's really just a spell because Valeera just eats it. So it gives one of my creatures +2 and deals 2 damage to Valeera. Okay, well, this is pretty bad. Fortunately, I can just go ahead and kill this thing right away, which is a pretty good use of my turn, which wasn't going to be a good turn. And then if he's obviously going to attack me next turn, and I can heal up. So it's not the worst start ever, especially if his play here is just dagger. But if he has a good 2-drop... Okay, I don't know why he didn't attack first, but I have no complaints. Yeah, we know. We know. Alright, so actually here I think I'm going to go with this Bloodfin Raptor, so I don't... I'm going to keep this actually, because he's going to probably combo into... Ooh, yeah, that was a mistake. He's probably going to combo into the, I was about to say, into the Defice Ringleader, and the way I knew that was going to happen is because he returned it to hand last turn, so obviously he has a combo for it. So I should have played the Earthen Ring Farseer, so that it could have survived the backstab there, which I knew was coming, but that's okay. Elvish Inventor was a pretty good draw. Sen'jin Shieldmaster was fine, but this is also a pretty good play. If he spends his turn to trade with the panda and hit me with a dagger, then I can start getting some value back. No, he's not going to do that. He's going to instead play another panda, followed by getting it back on the table again. This is getting out of hand here. Alright, so got a reasonable play here. I really should be healing myself, but being able to just eat a card like that is rare value. So even though my opponent has been playing all these value spells, he's only got 5 cards in hand and I've got 6. Hopefully, I'm really hoping that Sen'jin will be able to help stabilize my life total. The board is looking pretty stable. I can't imagine. He's okay, so he's just going for my face here. Maybe he's got some burn. Definitely a possibility in Rogue. I mean, Sinister Strike is not one that I recommend, but it is a card that is playable. He's got another Defiance Ringleader. Alrighty. So we're going to be able to start clearing this board, but still taking some damage here. Fortunately, do have this guy. Trying to figure out what the other play I want to make is. Probably Master Swordsmith, actually. And I'm gonna go one of these, and I am gonna kill this one instead of this one. This guy is likely to die next turn, but if he doesn't, then I can silence it, which could be relevant given my very low life total of 8. But yeah, I mean, we're starting to stabilize, just need to keep the pressure up here. Okay, what is this? This is a backstab? Another backstab. Man, my opponent just got all of the good Shiv. Weird. Okay, I guess that makes some sense. It doesn't really matter, especially since he's probably going to kill the novice or the gnomish inventor anyway. So he's going to shiv that, and then if he's got an eviscerate here, that would be bad. But I mean, eviscerate was already bad for me. And I wonder if he's going to go for my face here, or yeah. All right, looks like I'm not going to survive very long at all. Perdition's Blade. Okay, so we need to take this thing out clearly and start bringing the beat down. I'm probably just going to get eviscerated next turn, but can't really play around that in this spot. So we're just gonna hope that doesn't happen. Not really great that the gnomish inventor is getting the plus damage. I mean, if he doesn't have burn, then we may be able to take this one down. We just took way too much damage early on. Perhaps I should have healed myself those 3 life. Like, that could have been relevant. I wouldn't have been able to kill a 3rd creature with this gnomish inventor, but I already got 2 off of it. But man, I mean, my opponent has played, what, 2 different Defiance Ringleaders? I mean, he's played one of them like 3 times. And a backstab, and I guess he didn't have that much more. He had like a shiv, which is not an amazing card. All right, he's going for the Assassin's Blade here. So that's a pretty good plan. He just needs 1 more damage, or 1 more turn for me not to draw a taunter. Alright, so is he dead? Let's see, 4, 8, 10, 12, 13 plus 10 is 23. Plus 2 is 25. Well, that's disappointing. Alright, but first, it's not quite over, because I can kill my own loot hoarder and hope to draw into not that. Well played. Alright, so I'm just dead here. Really unfortunate. I was actually very, very close to killing him that turn. I actually did have 8. Oh no, not plus 10, it was plus 5. So, because Stormwind only adds 1. But anyway, that's going to be the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next video. Have a nice day. Bye.